Hi everybody and welcome to Axion Token channel. So awesome stuff. I hope you guys settled in. We're just going to have a casual read through and of the new announcement with the marketing proposal from Punkynomics. Your shares, your voice. So it's a bit of a strategic breakdown. We're just going to read through it and have a look at it. I haven't read it, so I'm reading it live. I like that because that way we're all experiencing it together, as it were. So we'll go through it, and there is a vote on related to it, obviously at the moment. So we'll check through that. And I love seeing this stuff from the strategy and marketing team. This is really transparent. Not only that, but very thoughtful and all looking to get that liquidity squeeze on that we're talking about. So we're going to read through that. All right. So let's quickly jump from, just posted on Discord, so let's just jump to the actual announcement. We'll just wait a minute or two before we get some people. Hey Alex, good to see you in the chat. Ahoy. Ahoy there. Yeah, this is actually pretty close to the auction close, which I normally cover, but you know, hey, that's life. I thought this is quite an awesome thing to look at, so we'll check this out. And let me just scroll that down a bit so you can see the actual title. Let me just takes a couple of seconds to delay there, but hopefully that will show up shortly. There we are. So it's called Your Shares, Your Voice event. It's another event from Strategy Marketing. Now let's think about, before we read through some of the stuff that they've done. They've done Max Share Week, which was super successful. No doubt about that. I mean, we're up, what, the last time I checked, close to 90 billion Axion stake. We may have even passed that. I haven't actually checked the dashboard. So pretty amazing. Alex says very thorough documents. So it looks like Alex has been through it. Alex is our moderator. So pretty cool. Now, if you're reading this afterwards, hopefully this read through helps you to look at this document. Quite a few people probably miss it. They're busy people and get time. But hopefully this video helps you to go through this particular event, which I think is that next step. We obviously had Max Share Week, which is fantastic, and we've got almost 90 billion the last time I checked staked in the Max Share Club. Incredible, 15.2 years. We've also, since the Max Share Week, we had which was the start of that 90 billion, so that we just had heaps of people net staking with a 2+ factor staking over minting. So pretty awesome. And I think that's pretty exciting. So this is that next step. Liquidity, last time we checked, was about 41 billion, and it has been as low as 39.3 billion, and that's the adjusted liquidity figure for taking out all the contracts at the top of that are used in the system. So pretty cool. And what they're trying to do is squeeze that further down, so that really puts upward pressure on the market and gets that exponential price re-rating that everyone's looking for. So this is the next step in that. So we're going to check through, and this applies to new stakes. Okay, so not upgrades and things like that, but new stakes, and that's really to entice liquidity out of wallets into staking, and also new buyers into the ecosystem to actually stake as well. So they provide more incentives to do that, and it is a fixed period. So we're going to check all that out. So I hope you guys enjoy this, the read through. Let's get straight into it. So your shares, your voice event, get up to 20% bonus with new stakes. All right, get up to 20% bonus with new stakes or restaking ends May the 7th. So that's how long it's anticipated to run. Now, I do believe the last time I checked that the vote was slightly in favor. I think it was about 50.75. Happy to be corrected on that, but I thought it was just in favor of this proposal, which some people may have got a bit confused about the extra bonuses, and that's fine. Everyone has their view, but I think that this is quite a nice next move. It's a short-run tactical program. Obviously, there's some extra benefits in there, but that's the idea. So let's get straight into it. All right. So in a nutshell, this event would last for 30 calendar days. Any new stakes or restakes would receive a 6% bonus of Axion added to the principal of their stake for stakes that are over 350 days. So that's in a nutshell. So any new stakes or restakes would receive a 6% bonus of Axion added to the principal of their stake for stakes over 350 days. And I think that's pretty good incentive. I personally think that's pretty good. There'll be other people that won't, particularly if you're staked already and you're not looking to do any other stakes. So that's interesting there. So each additional 350 days would add an additional 1% for a total of 20% of max share stakers. So each additional 350 days, so that's adding on 350, 700, etc., would add an additional 1% for a total of 20% of max share stakes, and this extra Axion is staked along with your principal, giving you more shares. So that's the incentive to get more people staking. That's also some of the reservation by existing stakers, no doubt. So that's where we are at the moment. So examples: 350 day stake would get a 6% bonus. 10 million Axion would become 10.6 million Axion. A 700 day stake would get a 7% bonus. So that 10 million Axion would become 10.7 million Axion, and a 3,500 day stake would get a 14% bonus. That'd be 10 million Axion would become 11.4 million Axion. So you can sort of see the pattern. And then finally, the 555 stake, which is 15.2 years, would get a full 20% bonus. 10 million Axion would become 12 million Axion. So there we are. So let's have a little summary of the bullet points. You can start here, but please take the time to read the entire document. And this event is tailored to what we're doing on this live stream. This event is tailored to reducing selling and increase wallet count. Okay, so reduce. These are the main targets. This is the goal of the enterprise of this move. So this event is tailored to reducing selling. So I want to reduce the selling, the liquidity, increase the wallet count, so get more wallets. These are all things I've been talking about. Educate on voting. Okay, that's part of the DAO, and expand Axion beyond the Discord, right, and into the rest of crypto sphere. Right, so a great marketing bonus, that 6% to get out to the market even further with a nice targeted marketing play. It will play an important role in boosting adoption at a crucial moment in the bull market. So that's the other thing. I think that it's actually very important. We're in a bull market, probably heading in that third wave at the moment, and it's pretty important to get that liquidity squeeze closed out in that time space. And I think that they're conscious of that, and so it's very important that they get the liquidity squeeze within this next third wave. So I'm with that. In our desired scenario, we would add 1 to 4% inflation to the shares. Okay, so it's the desired scenario, resulting in the deflation of 250 billion tokens over 15 years. As this is a proportional event, the only potential downside is that it does not get used, which is always the case when you're trying to influence demand but you don't control demand. That's the case. So if zero stakers use the bonus, no tokens will be minted. Any use of this promotion directly removes liquidity from Axion from the market, and as long as 2% of the users stake max, it is net deflationary. So that's really some of the main goals there. All right, and as I said, remove further, get that liquidity squeeze, that 41 billion down. We're not sure exactly at what point it will create that parabolic, but definitely probably way further than say 30 billion or so, like that. So, sort of some number once you're getting down to that number, because a certain amount of liquidity that's left in wallets will be inactive, and some people, like even committed stakers, will have like 70-80% maybe max shared and 20% liquid, but they don't intend to just suddenly trade that all the time. So there's all different kind of people invested that are doing all different kind of things, but overall you want people to get into the max staking period. All right, so it accelerates share dilution and deflation in the short term. All right, so this be the concerns by some people, but adds zero to the long-term plan, and that's very important. That's why it's all capitalized. And significant upside and net buying pressure. All right, and significant upside in net buying pressure, and that's really very important. And I think that's, and then within that, once again, in that window of the third wave of the boom and altcoins, I think that's very important to get that pulled forward. And it's fine not doing another incentive. But this is the way that you try and influence demand, because you don't control demand. So it's very important to take that into account. As this is a proportional event, these are the two extreme scenarios to be considered. If it doesn't get used, no recycling behavior changes. If it does get used, it proportionally locks our habitual recyclers from the 60-day cycle onto a 1-year cycle, and that's very important, particularly within this bull cycle. When they then recycle again, we have 10 times the wallets, and so we're much bigger, and we can absorb this recycling, just like the whales that we've got, and we can absorb those more easily once we've got the time to get bigger, and this actually helps us get bigger. So I actually like the logic. I think it's very good. So let's go on further there. Uh, Background facts to know: over the next month, Axiom will be minting a maximum of 10 billion tokens for the auctions that are upcoming. 8 billion in the VCAs and 2 billion for regular. This is the norm. That's correct. There are currently 41 billion liquid available tokens, plus whatever short stakes come due in the next 30 days. Lots of detail here, but about 15 to 30% of the network stakes under the 90 days. That's pretty cool. Some of the information the team has that not so easily accessible to everybody else, so pretty neat. Promotions are a standard part of the Axiom contract. There are many occasions in which users or even existing users receive deals on below market rate Axiom. All of these deals, which happen in promotional periods or through daily occurrences, offer new purchasing of Axiom at rates that are discounted. As with any limited time promotion, it affects only those events that take place within a specific time frame of the promotion itself. Events happening before or after the promotion period are not eligible to the benefits of the promotion. There's a standard marketing practice. Below are some examples of such practices in the context of Axiom, and that's completely true. So even though it seems like a bit extra to maybe to some existing stakers with their share percentage, these things are typically normal, and I think that this particular one is another crucial one until we get that liquidity squeeze down, and that will benefit all stakers. And so I completely agree with that view. Um, Regular auctions, historically participants have received anywhere from 10 to 40%. Currently the auction is set at 10% below Uniswap with a 10 to 10% referrer to referee bonus. Additional action in these auctions. This auction stakes referrer action minted each time for 14 days. So that's what the referrer gets. So it gets staked for 14 days. And the auction user or bidder into the auction has a minimum of 60 days. And we've mentioned that many times on this channel. The purpose of the regular auction is to provide Axiom interest to stakers and auction off late early end stakes. The venture capital auctions, which are the big ones each week, Tuesday and Fridays, users receive between 10% and 20% discount with a fixed 10% given back to the wrapped Bitcoin. And the stake requirement is a minimum of 120 days in those auctions. And the purpose of the VCA is to provide wrapped Bitcoin dividends to stakers, which we love very much. Thank you very much for that. So promotional events, these are used strategically, so they're not all the time, and they are always purpose built with targets in mind to help grow Axiom. And let's go back up to, we'll probably actually get down to the target, so I won't scroll back up for that. Promotional events are an important part of our ecosystem and are used to promote trade behavior, reward stakers, and smooth the path for all token holders during critical growth stages. The marketing and strategy team will custom build these events and lay out their purpose to the community. Below are some examples of past events. So let's get into this because this is pretty fun stuff. The New Year's Staking Blitz. Oh, that's another one I forgot. I should remember that since I do this every day. But the New Year's Staking Blitz participants received liquid Axiom up to 15% additional in return for staking tokens for 1 year. That's correct. And this promotion, it was based on the volume staked. The more volume staked, the higher the bonus. The goal of the event was to incentivize stakers over 350 days to reduce market selling and promote long-term price growth. Note, since it was a liquid bonus and 2 billion was passed out over 2 months, the immediate price impact was neutral to negative. So important there. Max Shares Week, which I did talk about, they allowed participants to upgrade existing stakes to max shares in preparation for the new tokenomics. During this week, participants were able to upgrade any stakes, including max stakes, to roll the interest accrued to date into a max share stake. This was built to begin our new inflationary model, which requires max stakes to begin the process of permanently burning tokens and shares in the long term. So remember, anything that's max shared or staked even longer, those tokens all get burned. That takes more off the market, and that's what you've got to have with a staking value token. So I really like that. Max Shares Week was not intended to impact the price, but instead to control for inflation. At the end of the week, the upgrade button for stakes under 1,887 days was made permanent. This event is tailored to accomplish a few key goals for Axiom. Targets liquid and soon to be liquid Axiom. There is still 90%, around 41 billion tokens within the network that have been at stake for under 30 days, and a total of 39 billion additional liquid Axiom. So that number changes from day to day, but that's about right. In the same 30 days, as mentioned above, Axion will mint around 10 billion tokens based on our success in the New Year's stake blitz, and these have both been super successful, not just successful, but super successful. We've shown that a 5% bonus target for 1 year will generally be able to promote 10 to 15 billion Axion to be staked for an additional year, and that increasing that to 10% does even more. The downside comes when the reward is liquid Axion. Therefore, we have worked to make it staked as well. By structuring a stake blitz without any minimum cap, we anticipate that we can push 15 to 25 billion Axion out beyond 1 year with graduated staked rewards. Now that's pretty exciting expectation. So I think that alone says enough about getting that liquidity squeeze down. So I think that's pretty awesome. And that's a game changer. That amount might very well get us to the exponential explosion in price and re-rating, and that benefits all stakers. So I think that's pretty cool, and obviously the VCA as well, potentially. So pretty cool. Okay, reduction of sale pressure. By pushing those 15 to 25 billion out, we effectively remove between 5.5 and 6.25 billion tokens worth of sale pressure every week. This is just making me cry just looking at these numbers, but that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, so hey, Effie Viking, good to see you in the chat there. So anyway, reduction of liquidity supply. With this event, we can effectively remove 1.5 to 4x the amount of tokens than we mint in the same period. So as I said earlier, we had been doing about 2x, so that's a really great result. So 2x means 2 times more that's minted gets staked. So the takes liquid Axion. I think there's a little spelling, little something wrong there. The stakes liquid Axion could be sold. The takes liquid Axion, something not quite right. Could be sold off the market for over 1 year. This has the added benefit of training new users and the benefits of longer stakers, and that's something I've always talked about very long time, is that the education needs to be about and the culture and Axion needs to be staking, because the max share and the staking becomes like the origin wallet in Hex, and from my view, right? So that really is sort of our flip for that. So I think that's really important. Effie Viking, having a nice drink and a thumbs up, cool stuff. So promotion of buying. So I haven't finished that last one yet. So this has the added benefit of training new users and the benefits of longer staking, further reducing through never fully eliminating the occurrences of 120-day cycling on the token. Promotion of buying. By marketing this event heavily within the crypto space, CoinMarketCap, Telegraph, etc., we will be able to add buy pressure to the token through both the auctions and Uniswap. This will be a limited event encouraging buy pressure during the bull market, takes incentives to stay relevant. 100% agree with that. So I think that people that are worried about slight share dilution there, this is actually better to do this now and to get that liquidity squeeze, and the rewards will weigh out. If you get an explosion of price, that outweigh the share dilution that you might get. So while it is not known how much this will increase buy pressure, marketing will be pushing an additional 120,000 in a new ad distribution. To date, we've seen that kind of investment triple daily wallet accounts. Very cool. All right, so expansion beyond Discord. We will use the event to bring Axion beyond Discord. The interface of our staking page will queue all investors to the things happening in Axion with banners, modals, and queues to vote. This event also helps the crypto world understand our new DAO, the voting system there, which is based on your shares that you've got, how it operates, and what to vote on. This is the first step to move voting and news directly into the portal so that we can reach a broader Axion audience. So it increases participation as well, doesn't it? So summary, this event is tailored to reduce selling, increase wallet count, educate on voting, and expand Axion beyond Discord and into the rest of the cryptosphere. And I'd like to add, it encourages the culture of staking and particularly max staking. So I think that's really cool. Frequently asked questions. What does the event cost? This event will cost minted Axion added to the stakes of all stakers with a duration over 350 days. Axion amount to be minted. This is fully proportional to the success of the event. Axion will only be minted as needed. We anticipate getting 15 to 25 billion Axion off the market with this event. Those are really good ranges, by the way. Assuming that standard past staking behavior is followed, we can expect that 30% max shares and 70% 2-year average stakes. At this assumed rate, the maximum amount of Axion minted would be 2.725 billion, and I think that's entirely acceptable amount. So let's review some extreme scenarios so as to better understand the risk-benefit outcomes. Hypothetical, so these are the scenarios. So hypothetical scenario 1, all 25 billion goes to max shares, 100% of users max stake. This would mint 5 billion new Axion stacked max, that's max shares, for 15.2 years, and added 20 billion additional shares, or about 4% above what it would be if they had no bonus. The net effect on token inflation would be circa 250 billion over 15 years. That is to say, it is deflationary due to our tokenomics, given that each max share represents long-term share token deflation. The next share inflation would be 4% for the next 3.6 years, resulting in an additional 4% reduction in share rate percentage, while removing 25 billion in sell pressure over the course of 30 days. I think that's the main outtake there. The details of how this is compensated are described below under share dilution. To summarize, the early reduction of VCA available tokens 2 to 5 years down the road removes this additional inflation. All right, so just take that into account. So the early reduction in the VCA available tokens 2 to 5 years down the road removes the additional inflation. So it's going to be taken off down the road, basically. Hypothetical scenario 2, and that's in that scenario. Scenario 2, all 25 billion goes 1 year stakes versus as opposed to max shares. This would mint 1.5 billion Axion as opposed to where we have 5 billion. Adding just under 0.5% to share inflation and versus no bonus. The net effect on token inflation would be circa 0.3% as opposed to, was it 4% over the next year, likely less due to potential future upgrades. The next share inflation would be less than 0.5% and last only 1 year. Summary, in our desired scenario 1 above, we would add 1 to 4% inflation to the shares, resulting in the deflation of 250 billion tokens over 15 years. As this is a proportional event, the downside is that no one would use the promotion. Any use of this promotion directly removes liquid Axion from the market, and as long as 2% of the users share stake max, it is net deflationary, explained below. Okay, so does this dilute my shares or inflate the token? Okay, share dilution. So this is probably one of the issues that people have had. Staking issues, especially max staking, naturally reduces each existing staker's share rate percentage. Any event that encourages more max staking will accelerate this dilution. In the most extreme case of the 25 billion tokens all stake max, this is highly unlikely, of course, users would experience a share rate percentage drop of around 20%. See hypothetical scenario 1 above. So that's probably the issue that a lot of the voters have had. That's why the vote's so close. And at this time, assuming normal stake behavior, we will have removed 35 to 55% of all liquid Axion that exists, effectively forcing 66 million of buy pressure onto Uniswap alone. At the same time, every auction would be sold out. Note, this equates to an additional 93 ETH buy direct to Uniswap each and every day. Yeah, so that'd be wonderful, but that's certainly a big ask, but that'd be pretty impressive. It's possible, but while the all the max stake scenario is unlikely, it is meant to show the proportional nature to share dilution to price appreciation in this event. The best possible result we could ask for as a community is to have massive share rate dilution, as this would equate to tremendous buy pressure, and that's your trade-off. So there's a trade-off, and that's what it is. And I think that to have some, that's obviously the max scenario, but just to have some share dilution to make sure that you benefit from the boom that's on at the moment and the apparent third wave that we look like we could be having, and also to get that liquidity squeeze on. I think those are much more favourable trade-offs than the share than your share percentage going down relative to the total. So I think that's something that people have to decide. But I think that the other two things are far more important for success for all stakers. I think that's my view. Other people have obviously voted differently. So while all the max share stake scenario is unlikely, it is meant to show the proportional nature of share dilution to the price appreciation event. The best possible result we could ask for, I've read that part. So the lower the share dilution, the lower the price impact. The goal of a targeted promotion such as this to stimulate adoption and through adoption, price appreciation. So really trying to bring that forward, that acceleration. I think that's actually bodes well for VCA sellouts, demand sellouts. So really trying to strongly influence demand, and they've already successfully done that in the max share and the New Year's Eve blitz. So I think that's pretty positive. Inflation, let's have a quick look at that. So inflation, please see the YouTube video. So I'll just post that. I have left this video, the link to the blog below, so you can check that out. You can check that out. So that's the YouTube video. Obviously, this is the blog that we're actually reading through now. Blog post. You can check that out if you haven't actually seen the link. So so please see this video for inflation, for discussion on inflation, because the nature of our max share stakes, as long as at least 2% of the event is used to max share stakers, the entire event is neutral or on inflation. And so that's very important as well. And these max shares are net deflationary on tokens. The increased share inflation is compensated by tapering VCAs early by approximately 20 billion tokens or 10 weeks. So let's read that again. The increased share inflation is compensated by tapering VCAs early by approximately 20 billion tokens or 10 weeks. This is based on the inflationary model estimating a minimum 147 weeks or 2 billion tokens. So now to be adjusted to 137 weeks or 2.5 years. Note this estimate has a safety factor of 1.8, meaning the actual runtime of 2 billion per week VCA is calculated at 265 weeks. Okay. Summary: this event accelerates share dilution deflation in the short term, while adding zero inflation in the long term and significant upside and net buying pressure. So I think that's pretty good, and I think it's a trade-off that a lot of people should, if they want to get in this third, basically the boom, crypto boom, and get this liquidity squeeze on earlier, bring it forward, increasing the probability of the exponential price increase is much better. So I think that's probably good. You're just increasing your probability really, and I think everyone likes that. So summary, yeah. Another question: why does just encourage recyclers, damaging the price? Recycling is a natural part of any token, but for sure it can have deleterious effects on the token. Let's take a look at the worst case scenario, a recycling scenario in which this event encourages 10 billion Axien to be recycled into auction to take advantage of the compounded benefits. Recycling, worst case, can account for up to 30% of our auction fills. So if this event promoted 100% recycling into an auction, that would force 70% minimum that generally participated in auctions off to Uniswap, where they would find they still benefit and get used to the event and get to use the event. So in this case, the 10 billion recycled Axien sold on the market is offset by a minimum. It's offset at a minimum by the 7 billion bought on Uniswap by the pushed out auctioneers. Keep in mind this is purely hypothetical, as most cyclists would be able to take up about half of the auctions and force them to close so insanely early it would drive market price up. So that's pretty funny. This leaves 3 billion additional net negative sales. Remember, the target for this event is 15 to 25 billion, and this unlikely event at 10 billion is recycled, cyclists taking advantage. For sure, we would hit our 15 billion minimum and push at least 1 billion additional price pressure to Uniswap, resulting in a net positive of 400,000 per week. So that's pretty good. Summary: as this is a proportional event, the downside is only in the time spent rolling it out. If this doesn't get used, no recycler behavior even changes. If it does get used, it proportionally locks our habitual recyclers from the 60 cycle and onto a 1 year cycle, which when they can then recycle again, we'll have 10 times the wallet. So we'll have the growth to be able to absorb that and the time to get those wallets up. So it's got the asterisk. We've used the word proportional event a lot of times. So what does that mean? Tokens will be added and minted proportionally to the use of the event. If zero stakers use the bonus, no tokens will be minted. This has the effect of only applying tokens for beneficial stakes and not risking minting tokens for an event that would have a negative impact, i.e. if 5 billion were available and it was split proportionally among all users of the event, then if you had only one user, that user would receive an outside proportion. That is not the case here. So that's the end of the blog, and I think that was pretty cool. I think that it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, that there is a trade-off, and that people will, if it is successful, there will be a different degree of dilution for existing stakers. But once again, it offers the opportunity for new stakers to get more new stakers on, to get more existing people in the ecosystem to buy Axion, get into auctions, etc., to stake and stuff like that, and also existing stakers to basically get to benefit from that as well. So overall, you're increasing demand across different people that you might have interested in doing that. So obviously, if you're not interested in doing any more staking, you've done your day and you've got nice stakes up there, you probably will be you probably will be a bit annoyed or something like that, that your share percentage, if it is has a degree of success, will be going down slightly, but that will be traded off for the benefits to have the liquidity squeeze, to have a lot more people in the ecosystem and a lot of people staked, and getting that price squeeze that we're all waiting for once that liquidity squeeze gets down to a certain amount. So 15 to 25 billion token stake looks like that would get us to that point. So that'll be pretty interesting. What people don't understand, Faja says, is demand. Yeah, so we're able to control and influence a certain amount of demand, the supply, and that's been going terrific with the blitz, the New Year's blitz, the max share staking, all that. We're up to 90 billion or whatever. That's all great. The liquidity's actually gone down dramatically. We've got that 2x times, but we do need to influence demand even further, particularly while this bull market run is on, to get us to that next level. So I think that's pretty cool. And Faja, advertise incentives, liquidity squeeze. Like it says, liquidity squeeze leads to price appreciation. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So I think that's the main event. What we're trying to do there. Let me just pull up. The Axion dashboard while we're here. Pull that up. Close that one there, and so we can see at the moment we've got the 41.1 billion liquid at the moment. That was 2 days ago, that was at 39.3. We have had a whale or two come out of their stakes, so that's probably the idea there. So we've got, that number there is the one we want to squeeze. That's the number we want to squeeze down. If we can get 15 to 25 billion out of that squeeze down, that excludes obviously short-term stakes, which are additional, but we can get that squeezed down to, if we did 25, that would take that down to 15. And then you got to say a lot of Axions is going to be sitting inactive in wallets as well, and a lot of it owned by stakers that are committed to the project. So that's when you're going to start to get that real big demand pushing that price up. So that's what it is. It's massively supportive of price, the parabolic price rise. So that's what we're trying to get to there. So hopefully that helps with the focus, what they're really trying to target there. Viking, where's everyone from? I'm accenting from Minnesota. Hey, FE Viking, Minnesota rocks. Faja, California, and Alex is from California as well. Go USA, go USA. That's what it's like. Yeah, I'm in New Zealand, so almost on the bottom of the world, but in the future of time and space. That's pretty cool. But I basically, a lot of my lingo is Californian because I watch all these American movies. So that's probably the lingo. I say awesome a lot, and cool, and all that sort of stuff. So there we are. So that's the main goal of the thing, is trying to target that liquidity there, and get that reduced dramatic 15 to 25 billion. Plus, obviously, we've got some short-term stakes coming out, but people will be able to new stakes and stuff to get that up. Plus, think about this, the other positive is there's going to be another big new marketing program out there, and I think that's great. So I think that's huge. So with $20,000 extra, that's going to be used for that. So there's the max share club at the moment. It's at 89.68. So that's the other target. So get the liquidity down and raise that max share is what they're going to try and do with this third major campaign. And that excludes the general marketing budget, which is, like I said, about 200,000, with 100,000 going on distribution, ramping up in the next quarter, because obviously they're still doing quite a few analytics there. So I think that's a pretty good. I think people need to just maybe bite the bullet on the share percentage and see that all these other benefits will grossly outweigh the share dilution, assuming it's relatively successful, which I do expect it to do pretty well based on the previous two and with going through this paper. That's my opinion. Everyone's got their own opinion, but hopefully that read through helps you with what's going on there with this one. And this will be one of many of different tactics and strategies that all go with the same. So the goals are the same. They've got tactics going on along the way. We had New Year's Eve tactic, max shares tactic. We had cultural staking tactics, getting that max share right up to that 90 billion. And now we've got this this max share one here. So your shares, your voice campaign. So we've got that coming up there, and that's should help dramatically get people staking. So I think that's pretty neat. And yeah, all right. So I think that's a pretty good rundown. I'm going to be, what will I be back? So I'm going to be back soon. How long's the? Let's have a look at the auction here. We've got 2 hours to go, so I'm going to be back in about an hour and 45 minutes to do the auction close. So maybe not quite that soon, but 5 minutes to something like that. So we'll probably see that. Let's have a quick look here. We've got a few people in the house. We got Prana, New Jersey here. New Jersey. So pretty cool. And I've sure seen New Jersey in a movie too. Fudge, I was at Guam a couple of months ago, close to Hex Token. Yes, Guam. Nice. Near New York City. Yep. I was just looking at Toronto lakes there. So that's not too far away, is it? It's over the other side of the lake there, the Great Lakes. Was there 5 Great Lakes, I think? And Immigrant, Andreas, good morning, Superman. Morning to you. Great to have you here. What time's it here? It's actually 5:10 p.m. in the evening on Sunday, the 11th. But it's morning where Andreas is. So a lot of the Northern Hemisphere people are awake and well. So pretty cool. Well, look at this auction too. We've got the regular auction at the moment. It's done pretty well. 27.5 ETH, $58,800, 65,500 in the accent available. So not too bad. Brian Newbright, brilliant analysis, mate. I appreciate that, Brian. Cheers. Prana. Hey, that's Brian, Punky. Sorry, you caught me off guard there, Brian. That's great. So we got Punky on the chat. So there we are. It's the first time I think I've seen you for a while there, Brian. So good to have you on. Prana, have about a 7-hour drive, I think, to Toronto for me. Yes, it's America and Canada so huge that when you're just driving state to state's a huge drive, right? So pretty cool. And Brian, you're right. Thank you, all you do. Much pleasure, Brian. Pleasure. Southern California for Punky there. Yeah, and so I guess sunny California. Prana the Punkster, the Punksmeister or Punkster, or you can make heaps of cool names with that. So it's pretty cool. So once again, I think I did posted all the links there. So inflation and the blog post, you can see that in the chat. For people watching this video after we go offline, you can check that out there. And Alex Casey, it's nice document, Brian, very detailed. Yeah, really good document, Brian, and good rationales supporting scenarios as well. Some numbers there, and I think the trade-offs are very clear, and the upsides are definitely awesome, and the potential's there for another great marketing strategy rollout. So I'm pretty in favor of it myself. So pretty cool. And today's regular auction doing pretty well. Yesterday's auction was pretty cool too. So I think the auctions are looking good. Obviously, when we look at demand indicators, we're looking at wallet numbers, we're looking at auction sellouts, and the Uniswap price demand. So we've got 3 different demand side allocations there, plus all the tributaries that flow into those numbers, like different platforms that we're on, social media and all that sort of stuff that flows into that. So pretty cool. Brian, I love the show. Thank you. No, it's always fun to do this. And FE Viking, Superman rocks, Superman doing Superman things. Yeah, up and away, as we say. Hey, just a cool thing was I did say it in the chat earlier that Axion Token has hit over 100,000 views. I think we're close to 100,001 views. So that's pretty cool. Nice little milestone there. So that's really fun to wake up to that today. The number, I had been looking at it every couple of days to see whether it got over 100,000 views, so that's pretty nice and so cool. So that was a good thing. Jade M, hey, welcome Jade M. Island Savage here in the Northern California. Yay! That'd be quite good surfing up there, wouldn't it? In Northern California, up that way. He's got to rescue some people off cam soon. Yeah, good one. Congrats for breaking 100,000 views. Yeah, appreciate it. I thought it was a pretty cool milestone. Bitcoin people, Bitcoin. Man, I love Scott's catchphrases. Bitcoin people, Bitcoin. I love that. That should go viral, to be honest. That should be TikToked with Axion on it. Buy Axion and get buy a stake Axion and get Bitcoin. Bitcoin people, Bitcoin. That would really go viral. I'm sure of it. If you Faja says, JDM, I'm in Northern Cali as well. We should meet. Yeah, should meet. Have a Axion meetup. Live stream the meetup, and that would be pretty cool. We actually, I don't know if we've had a lot of live stream meetups yet. We don't think we've seen one meetup yet, so that's something in our developing culture for Axion that we could get. So that'd be fun. Yeah, Faja, yeah. I don't know. I think there are minted Axion coins, isn't there? I'm not sure if we can actually get minted Axion coins. That'd be interesting. Maybe someone could do some minting. We could get. It doesn't even have to be silver or gold. It could be something like gold, obviously, but silver could be some silver coins minted. Something for food for thought. That may be something the marketing team can think about. Is to do maybe a competition with some minted Axion tokens. Maybe silver would be nice. Fix is trying to do an online meetup, I think. Yeah, Fix is great with that. So onwards and upwards of Fix. The other thing is we've got this. Let's just jump to that while we're here. Obviously, this is a special live stream for the Your Shares Your Voice read through, but and review. But what is it going to look at here? Let me jump down. Let's go. So yeah, so we Fix is running a contest about when the Max Share Club will reach 100 billion. I put in the 3rd of May, which is kind of, I was thinking late April, but I went for the 3rd of May. So this competition might actually go against me. So for my winning bid. But you know, so what? I'm still going with the 3rd of May. We'll see. I could be blown out of the water now for sure. But that's what we did. I was doing the 2x factor. That's how I sort of worked out my number very quickly. So we'll see what happens with that. So if you get onto that Fix on Discord, you can get involved in that competition to guess when 100 billion Max Share Club will be hit, what day. So check that out. It's pretty cool. Prana VR FE Viking. We should do an Axion meetup at my cabin in January in Minnesota. Well, that sounds very lovely. That does. Yeah, Minnesota is a beautiful place. There's so many good spots in the US and Canada. Obviously, New Zealand's famous for some beautiful spots itself. But yeah, that'd be really cool. The difference with America, though, is that you get New Zealand's got a few cultural differences depending on where you're going, but they're very subtle. But in America, it's like every state's, I don't know, that's just my view as a foreigner, but every state seems to be quite different. And the other thing is that when you grow up watching American TV from another country, you kind of associate the states with the TV program. Like you know, I won't read out all the shows, but like 90210 show, for example, that relates to the Californias. You think California's kind of like that, and then you got other shows, you know, like other stuff like that. I couldn't believe that. I don't know if you remember the MASH show. The MASH show was in the outbacks of California hills there, outside of I think just out the back of Hollywood there. And I think the only thing left there now is like a truck and a couple of signs. I think that's about it. So there's a bit of nostalgia there for you about MASH. That final episode, man, that was a killer. I think there was like 1/3 of America that was watching that show at the end, or half of America was watching the final match show. I'm digressing now, digressing. Anyway, so that's some of the cool stuff there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Once again, I'll just leave the blog for those people watching, particularly afterwards, and you can watch that. So let me just pull that off. So if you're watching this afterwards, you can check this out. I'll probably get off now. I will be back on at the end for the auction close, and that'll be just a brief one for today since it's Sunday. And I hope you guys take care. Do feel free to join me when I come back online in about an hour and a half, and I'll catch you then. But that'll be a short sort of 20 minutes. And then we'll probably look at doing something really cool on Monday with a long, cool afternoon session on some specialty topics, and get into that. So once again, thanks everyone for watching, and I will be back on later in the day. And great work, Punky and the marketing strategy team. It's a really good document, and I think a really needed, timely strategy to get us moving to where we want to go. All right, peace out. Peace. All right, I've just got to find the studio, end the live stream. Thanks again, Alex, for moderating.